Hey, what's happening, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you lot are all doing well today, man. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily series here on Football Therapy, where I go across the media, football news, consolidate everything that's being said about Chelsea Football Club and present it to you sitting there, offering you my opinion on said stories, but more importantly, asking for yours. Today there is a bunch of stuff to talk about. Yes, what's going on in the rags then? Well, Sky Sports have finally caught up with the story of Nicola Tagliafico potentially being first choice now for Chelsea's left back problem. Certainly Andre Onana is looking like the first choice goalkeeper. Are Chelsea looking to do a double deal there? Well, all the headlines have caught up on Tagliafico now. Promising Barcelona La Masia bred Dutch Congolese defender dubbed the new Van Dijk, Xavier Mbuyamba, is likely to come to Chelsea. That sounds good. The 18-year-old looks like an absolutely special defender. Please. Declan Rice is on holiday with the Chelsea boys. Is he going to come to Chelsea? And of course, Kai Havertz has played, potentially, his last game for Bayer Leverkusen. Excellent goal, but they lost. Perfect result for Chelsea. Is he coming? Anyway, lots to crack in today. A wonderful episode of Chelsea News. But I have to let you know a message from my sponsor why you should check out OneFootball. That's right, as silly season cracks open and gets into full effect, you need to keep up with all the transfer news, and you can do that via OneFootball, which of course is completely free. You set out the teams you want to follow, like perhaps your national team and Chelsea Football Club. Hey, other teams too if you want to. It will give you alerts. When the games are on, it will give you stats, fixtures, everything you need to know. Check out OneFootball by clicking in the link in the top of the description. Oh yeah, subscribe to Football Therapy if you're new, and if you do want to help me out, please do drop a like on this video. That's really nice of you. Alright then, let's get into it. Oh, and breathe and let's begin. 18-year-old Dutch Congolese centre-half slash right-back, full-back sometimes, Xavier Mbuyamba, highly rated, has been widely dubbed the new Van Dijk, which is one of those titles that you get all the time with the new Messi, the English Messi. But now Van Dijk's probably the best centre-half in the world. Anytime there's a good, probably Dutch centre-half, it's going to be the new Van Dijk. Still, this youngster is really highly rated, and Chelsea are reportedly front-runners for sealing the signature of this defender. I know this could sound like just another kid joining Chelsea, but he's massively touted as one of the best or the best up-and-coming centre-half, and it's not like he's 14, Chelsea are just signing another super youngster. 18 years old, looking this good, he could end up being in the first team a lot quicker than you would originally assume. Nizar Ginsella of Goal.com wrote an article on this, and I urge you guys to seek it out and have a read yourselves, try and learn a little bit about the player. I'm certainly going to look a little bit further into him. Point being, Chelsea of course still need seniority in the back line, in the defensive half of the pitch, but if they're getting a super talent like that to join the ranks of Frank and Jodi's youth revolution, it can only be a good thing. Cheers, Barcelona! Anyway, let's move on. So yeah, like I said, Sky Sports and other headlines have caught up with the Nicola Tagliafico headline, or certainly it's been circulating to the surface yet again, pretty much because seasons are all completed now. Chelsea desperately need a left back. We all know how much Frank Lampard wants Ben Chilwell, but perhaps with the prices of certain players, a more realistic acquisition will be Nicola Tagliafico, who's got good defensive numbers, is a bit more senior, and of course is an upgrade regardless on what Chelsea already have. Now, we already know this, and the headlines are pretty much saying what we already know. Chelsea turned to Ajax's left back as Ben Chilwell alternative, much cheaper. Could he be what they need? We all know this, fair enough, but he's now being married with the Andre Onana story a little bit more. Chelsea turned to Ajax duo as much more affordable alternative to Jan Oblak and Ben Chilwell. Firstly, I always said Jan Oblak was a bit of a dream. He'll cost, what, 100 million plus Ben Chilwell's 60 million or whatever the reduced price is. Yeah, I get it, way too much money, and of course, you're just never sure stuff's gonna work. So Tagliafico for whatever it is, under 30 million, makes sense. We'll all be happy with that. It's an upgrade, it's defensively resolute, and it brings a little bit of experience into the back line. Plus he'll know his teammate Hakim Ziyech, and who knows, he might know the goalkeeper teammate, because Andre Onana is also being heavily linked to Chelsea yet again, perhaps in a double purchase, which would seem incredibly peculiar. Chelsea to buy 3 players from Ajax in one window just seems difficult for me to grasp. Is that realistic? Have we ever seen anything of the likes of this before? I just don't know. Certain journalists out there are now tweeting this is Chelsea's priority target, the number 1 choice, and to be honest that makes sense. We've been talking about this on Football Therapy for a while, looking at the alternatives. Although someone like Nick Pope is an amazing shot stopper, can we really pry him away from Burnley for anything less than extortionate pricing? I don't think so. 30 million euros is under 30 million pounds for a decent goalkeeper who is very good with his feet playing football as well as being a young, good shot stopper. Makes a lot of sense if you take a deep breath, look over the world of football. It kind of like, you're like, yeah, Onana, probably Tagliafico. Can we buy all your players, Ajax? You cool with that? Money, you know? So, yeah. Anyway, let's stop talking about buying all of Ajax's players and move on to the next story. Chelsea, of course, need a centre-half, and you know I'm all on the Lewis Slam Dunk train. I really like the idea of his defensive attributes and seniority in the back line. Declan Rice is obviously still being heavily linked with Chelsea. He is a Chelsea boy, currently on holiday with all his Chelsea mates. Chelsea. This shouldn't come as a shock to people. There's no agent work going on here. He's best mates with Mason Mount. He's mates with Tammy Abraham. I think Pulisic's out there with them as well. They're hanging out with Didier Drogba, apparently. What does that mean? The Drogba still has a sort of like affiliation with Chelsea. I don't know. Is he kind of like an ambassador? I think he is. He's out there putting his arm around Declan Rice, maybe trying to convince him. To be honest, he wouldn't need to convince Declan Rice to join Chelsea anymore. He'll want the move. Interesting though to see that kind of stuff going on behind the scenes. I'd personally be very happy with Declan Rice. Leadership qualities, good defensive nous, whether he's in CDM or centre half. We'll see what happens there. If the stories gain momentum, I'll of course give you information on that. Now, big banger, the one we all want is Kai Havertz. In the same day, Dortmund come out and say, Jadon Sancho is staying with us. Goodbye, Manchester United. I'm not entirely convinced that's the end of that deal, by the way, but it's certainly a funny turn of events, just be an exciting piece of news in the media about football, superstar transfer, but he could still wind up at Manchester United. Kai Havertz had a good game in the Europa League against Inter. He's a little bit like laissez-faire running around, but when he did get on the ball, you could tell he's mustard with his combinational play, his spatial awareness, knowing where his teammates are, and of course scoring a great goal and nearly getting another running onto a long ball. Perfect result for Chelsea, really. He scores a goal, keeps up his scintillating goal-scoring form, yet Bayer Leverkusen lose and get eliminated from Europe, meaning that the deal can now commence. Certainly, that was what all the talk was saying around the media. As soon as the Europa League finishes, Chelsea can do that, get in and make the deal done. Peter Bosz said some comments in the post-match presser when he was being obviously asked about Kai Havertz, and he made an official announcement of Kai Havertz's next club, and hold on. He said he can announce Kai Havertz is joining Heracles Almelo. It's a joke, it's some Dutch side apparently. Basically, he was probably tired about the Chelsea questions and just had a bit of a laugh. Fair enough, I do think this deal is going to go over the line. We all know personal terms were agreed a long time ago, 5-year deal. Frank Lampard wants him, even though he's made sort of peculiar comments about it. It really is structuring a deal. I do think now they're out of this competition and they're 100% not going to qualify for next season's Champions League. Their financial stance has changed, Bayer Leverkusen, therefore perhaps they're more inclined to meet Chelsea's valuation of Kai Havertz, and hopefully a deal can get done in the coming days, weeks. Things can get dragged out. Obviously, the Chelsea players are away on holiday. Kai Havertz has already had a break. I don't know if he gets another break in football or if they go back to pre-season now. I think they probably are training because Jadon Sancho's with Dortmund training, so that would make sense. So who knows, maybe Kai Havertz doesn't go to train with Leverkusen. Maybe a deal gets structured pretty darn quickly and Chelsea could be announcing Kai Havertz within, I don't know, the coming days? I don't want to be too ambitious, but I really am confident about this deal. Feeling good. Anyway, what do you think about everything I've spoken about in today's video? I want your comments. Get down into the comment section below and express yourself on the stories. I want to hear it. I also want to ask you guys to subscribe to my second channel, Jan's Yard, because I'm doing live football shows on there again. That's right, the channel that I didn't want to do any football on, I've started to do football because I love talking about it on live shows, and I didn't want to do that on Football Therapy, and I wanted to talk about other teams other than Chelsea using that platform. You like it, I like it. Subscribe to Jan's Yard. I'll pin a comment from that channel in the top of the comment section. Like this video to help me out. Subscribe to Football Therapy if you are new. Enjoy the football, and I will see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.